Hello and welcome to Enjoy TV. I'm Angela.
And I'm Camille.
Today we're doing our on-air English lesson and we're talking about study groups.
今天我们生活影音学堂要教大家就是 study group， 就是图书会的意思，读书会的意思。
Have you ever joined a study group?
No, I haven't. Because I'm easily distracted, so I need to just study on my own.
Oh, so you don't like to be in a group where you would like to just chat with everyone?
Not really.
I think study groups, what I like about study groups is that I don't always have the answer. And so when you're in a group of people, you know, they have the answer when you don't. And it's like, oh, good. So then you can figure things out together.
Yeah.
That's what I like about them. But yeah, it's a huge chance to also be like, oh, hey, what's
just
going on?
chatting
And
stuff.
suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, we've just spent an hour chatting. Let's get to work.
没错，刚刚Angela老师就有问我说，我自己喜不喜欢读书会呢？那我本身是因为我比较容易就是分心，所以我是喜欢自己读书。那Angela老师她是比较倾向是参加读书会，因为如果在读书会的话，你们可以一起讨论一些问题啊，然后就一起找出答案。那但是其实也有一个机会，就是你们很有可能会就是一起就在聊天，结果都没有在读书。
And you know, study groups are for lots of different things. Like today's study group is for language, but there's also a kind of study group called a book club where everyone picks a book and they read it and then they get together and discuss the book, and that's really fun. Actually, my family, all the women in my family got together and we have a study group for reading online.
Oh, that's cool.
And we just Skype together.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? That's
it's fun.
cool. OK， 刚刚Angela老师就有说呢，那读书会有分两种，一个就是语言的读书会，那另外一种呢，就是你们可以选择一本书，然后全部的人就聚在一起讨论这本书啊，一起阅读这本书。那Angela 老师有说，他们家的成员里面会在 Skype 上一起就是研读这一本书。
Yeah.
还蛮有趣的。It's interesting.
Yeah, and then it gives a chance for everybody to keep up with each other's lives.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at our article, or actually it's our dialogue today.
The dialogue 情境对话
Do you like your Spanish study group?
Not really. To be honest, I feel kind of stressed out.
That doesn't sound good. What's going on?
I think it's because I spent my childhood in Spain and they didn't.
What do you mean? What does that have to do with your stress?
I'm pretty fluent in Spanish because I had to use it every day growing up. As a result, everyone else in the group keeps turning to me for answers.
It doesn't seem like you're getting anything from being in that group at all. Perhaps you ought to drop it.
Well, there is a cute girl in the group named Melissa. Maybe I should ask her if she wants to study one-on-one.
The explanation 内文讲解
Okay, so the sentence that describes what's happening in our little dialogue here is the first sentence, and it says, Alicia and Scott are chatting over lunch in the cafeteria. Now, we all know what chatting is. It's just talking about this and that. When you say that people are chatting, they're not having a serious conversation. They're not talking seriously. They're just like going, oh, hey, what's up? How are you? Oh, I'm fine. I had a nice night yesterday. Just sort of like small talk, not important things.
所以第一句就是说 Alicia and Scott are chatting over lunch in the cafeteria. 那 chatting 在这边呢，其实它是指一些比较轻松的谈话，就是不是太 serious 的 topics。比如说像一个 small talk，就是你问人家说最近过得怎么样啊，最近在干什么啊，那可以说是 chatting，就闲聊的意思。
So these two, Alicia and Scott, they're chatting over lunch. Why are we saying they're chatting over lunch? Aren't they chatting during lunch, like during the time they're at lunch? And that's kind of funny, but actually what it is you're chatting literally over your lunch. Your lunch is here on the table, and you're over it chatting. It's actually kind of like that. We're having lunch, and this is over the period of lunch. It's either physically over lunch or over the period of time that's lunch. We can talk about time during a period of time or over a period of time, and both are correct.
没错。那这边为什么要用 over lunch 而不用 during lunch 呢？因为 over 的话，可能是说，就是你的午餐已经来了，那你讲到就是午餐都结束了，就是 chatting over lunch， 你就讲了一个午餐的时间。
And often at business, they'll be like, oh, let's talk about this over lunch, which means let's go and have lunch together and continue talking about this business. So they're having lunch in the cafeteria. So when you say cafeteria, immediately I think that you're in a school because most places that have cafeterias are schools. Now, some big office buildings like Google have a cafeteria, and that means that the place is big enough that they can serve their own food, you know, and Google's cafeteria is free.
Oh, and it
Can you
must be
imagine?
really nice.
Oh, yeah, and it's really good food
Yeah.
apparently. So apparently, if you want to have free food, go work for Google.
OK， 所以刚刚就讲到呢 ，cafeteria 它其实通常是指学校里面的餐厅啦。因为我们用到 cafeteria 的时候，我们会直接会想到是学校里面的餐厅。但是如果是大一点的公司，像比较大规模的话，像 Google 这种公司，他们也有员工餐厅，而且是免费的哦。
Now, at hotels, they have a situation which kind of looks the same as a cafeteria, but that's not called a cafeteria. Even though it's the same thing, there's a bunch of food laying there and you go and take it yourself, just like a cafeteria, but that's called a buffet. And I guess the reason why there's different words for it is buffet sounds, because it sounds a little French, it sounds very
fancy.
It's like a fancy cafeteria
Yeah.
because cafeteria really has this institutional feeling, like it's part of a school or it's part of an office. It's just where you get your lunch. It's not fancy, but a buffet is fancy. And I think that's the difference.
所以刚刚 Angel 老师就有教到这两个字的差别，就 cafeteria 跟 buffet。那 cafeteria 我们刚刚讲到就是学校的餐厅跟员工餐厅嘛。那如果是 buffet 的话，其实是在大饭店里面的那种，就是吃到饱的自助式的餐厅。那就是为什么会叫 buffet 也不用 cafeteria？ 虽然他们的感觉是一样的，因为你一样是自己去拿东西回来吃。可因为 buffet 它本来是那个法文，所以你听起来会比较 fancy， 就感觉好像比较高级的感觉。就可能他们是因为这样子才用 buffet 的。
And buffet is a funny word because it's spelled B-U-F-F-E-T, right? So it looks like you should say buffet. And there is actually an English word that's
Oh, really?
buffet, and that means to like hit repeatedly. You can be buffeted, yeah.
Oh,
So you can be buffeted by winds, or a boxer can buffet his opponent.
Oh.
But so it's spelled the same, but it's a totally different word. Buffet is to hit, and buffet is to eat until you're full. Yeah.
Interesting. OK， 刚刚 Angel 老师就教我们一个单字啦，就是在英文的英式英语的单字里面有个叫 buffet， 一样的 spelling，B-U-F-F-E-T， 可是它的意思却完全不一样，它是指不断的打。那 chat 这个单字的用法呢，它可以当 VI， 也可以当名词，它是闲谈和聊天的意思。For example,
I like chatting with my friends on the phone. Or you could say, I like to have a chat with my friends on the phone.
就是我喜欢和我朋友在电话上聊天。
Okay, so this is the beginning of our dialogue. We have Alicia and she's talking to Scott. And Alicia says, do you like your Spanish study group? So we talked about study group. It's where a group of people get together and they learn about a very particular topic, like one book or one kind of thing. And a Spanish study group means they're concentrating on studying Spanish together.
所以这个 Alicia 就开始问了 ，Do you like your Spanish study group？ 他就问 Scott 说，你喜欢你的西班牙文读书会吗？那我们刚刚先前有提到，读书会有分两种，一个就是你们聚在一起讨论一本书，那另外一种就是你们要一起学习某样的事情，像是这边是西班牙文。
And Scott's response is to say, not really. When you say not really, it means it's not as direct as saying no. Like if you were just like, no, that means you really don't like it. But he goes, not really, meaning he's having problems with it, but it's still okay on some level.
所以这 Scott 就说 not really， 他意思就是说不太喜欢，这跟那个直接说 no 的方式不一样。如果你直接就说我不喜欢，那就代表说你真的很不喜欢。可是他这边就是 you have some problem with it， 就你可能有一些问题啊在里面，让你不是很喜欢。
So he says, to be honest, I feel kind of stressed out. When you say to be honest, you're signaling to the other person that you're going to say something probably impolite or something very direct, and they should prepare themselves.
所以当你说 to be honest 的时候，你其实是在说你接下来要讲一个比较不礼貌的话，或是比较直接的话，你就会说 to be honest 就是老实说啊 I feel kind of stressed out.
So he says, I feel stressed out. If you feel stressed out, it's like it's more than just you have some pressure. Stressed out is already it's too much. You're already like, I can't handle it anymore. It's already at like a crisis point. So and then he doesn't say I feel stressed out. He still says I feel kind of stressed out. So the kind of modifies it and makes it less direct or less strong. So just like you said, not really instead of no, you say, I feel kind of stressed out instead of saying, I feel stressed out. It means, yeah, there's a problem, but it's not as serious as it could be.
所以他继续讲说 to be honest 就是老实说 I feel kind of stressed out. 当你说一个人 feel stressed out 的时候，就是说他不止压力很大，他已经压力大到快受不了了，就是到一个濒临崩溃的境界。那可是他这样讲虽然很严重，但他又加了 kind of。那 kind of 就是有一点来稍微，所以他说 I feel kind of stressed out。我觉得感觉好像快要被就是压力给炸开那种感觉。那 to be honest 就等于 frankly speaking， 就老实说的意思。So for example。To
be honest, I think that speech was boring. So that's not a very nice thing to say. So you have to say in advance, by the way, I'm going to say a not nice thing. To be honest, I think that speech was boring.
所以他就是老实说，我觉得那场演讲很无聊。
And I feel stressed out. You can find out how to use that from our tips and news. Let's take a look.
Tips and use 重点解析。
大家好，我是 Camille。今天 Tips and Use 要教大家的就是压力很大的英文要怎么说。本文中 I feel kind of stressed out， 这当中的 stressed out 就等于形容词 stressful， 表示压力很大。不过 stressed out 的主词必须是人，而 stressful 只是用来形容事情。我们就来看简单的例句吧。Tim looks stressed out before giving a speech， or Tim looks stressed before giving a speech。题目演讲前看起来压力颇大。Moving to a new house is a stressful event. 搬新家是一件压力很大的事情。以上就是压力很大的说法。那我们下次见喽，拜拜。
The explanation 内文讲解。
So Alicia says, that doesn't sound good. You know, that you're not getting along with your study group, that you're feeling stressed out by a study group. You know, study groups are supposed to help you.
所以这 Alicia 就是说 that doesn't sound good， 那听起来好像不太好，因为那个读书会呢，其实 supposed to help you， 就是应该是要来帮助你的啊，可是怎么会感觉压力很大呢？
So then she asks, what's going on? Which is a casual way to be like, tell me more about what's happening. She wants to understand the situation. She's inviting him to keep talking about the problem.
所以他就是说 what's going on。当你说 what's going on 的时候，是比较 casual、比较随意的方法，就问人家说到底发生什么事情啦？他想要多了解一下这个情况。
So Scott says, I think it's because I spent my childhood in Spain and they didn't. So what does he mean that he says he spent his childhood in Spain? Because when you say you spent time somewhere, it means that you were there for some period of time. Why doesn't he just say, I was a child in Spain? Or why didn't he say, I grew up in Spain? The difference is if you say you spent your childhood there, it means you're not from Spain, but you spent part of your time there. Otherwise, if you say, I grew up in Spain, you might be meaning that you're Spanish. It's harder to say.
okay.
So he's being very clear that he's not Spanish, but he did spend some time there, and he spent some time there when he was a child.
OK， 所以这 Scott 继续讲说 ，I think it's because I think 就是这个 problem 就是 it。这个问题呢，是因为 I spent my childhood in Spain and I didn't， 就是我在那个西班牙度过我的童年，可是他们却没有。那为什么这边要 spend my childhood， 不直接说 I grew up in Spain， 或是 I was in Spain when I was a child 呢？因为说这句话的意思是，就是当你不是西班牙人，你只是小时候在那边长大而已，所以他就说 I spent my childhood in Spain。
So Alicia says, what do you mean? What does it have to do with anything? Why does you spending time in Spain when you're a kid, how does that relate to your being, having problems with your study group?
所以 Alicia 就觉得很疑惑啊，她就说 What do you mean？ 你这是什么意思啊？这跟这有什么关系呢？这句话是什么意思？
She says, what does that have to do with your stress? When you say something has something to do with something else, you're saying that there is a relationship. So she's saying, how does that relate to your stress? But when you say, how does something relate to something, that's really formal. That's what you'd say in a business meeting. In casual language, we say, what does that have to do with? What is, what relationship does that have with your stress? What does that have to do with your stress?
所以 Alicia 就因为她刚刚很疑惑嘛，所以她就继续问了。那 What does that have to do with your stress？ 就当你说 something has to do with something， 就是说这两件事情其实是有关联的，就是 relate to 的意思。可是如果你用 relate to 的话，是比较正式的用法。如果我们平常比较 casual 的谈话，我们会用 have to do with。那 have something to do with， 其实今天也是我们的单字，它是与什么有关的意思。For example。
Many taboos in Taiwan have something to do with the way certain words sound.
就是台湾有诸多禁忌都和中文字的谐音有关联。
So Scott starts to explain what his problem is. Why? What does his childhood in Spain have to do with his stress? He says, I'm pretty fluent in Spanish. If you're fluent in something, it means that you can speak it well. Like if I said I'm fluent in Chinese, it means I could speak Chinese pretty much as well as a native speaker.
Which you are.
Which is why I do not say I'm fluent, because it's really hard to be as good as a native speaker. Actually,
is
fluency is a really high bar.
Yeah.
Anyone who actually spends time trying to be bilingual or trying to learn another language, they will at most admit to being conversational. That means I can hold a conversation in Chinese. I can talk with people pretty much, If I was fluent in Chinese, it means I could read any article up to like a university level. It would mean that I could go to a convention and understand 100% of what they're saying. It means that I could talk about any topic with perfect grammar, or at least decent grammar. Yeah, that's a high bar. Actually, that's really hard to achieve, especially when you've started learning your second language as an adult.
OK， 刚刚 Angela 老师说的就是呢 ，Scott 他就讲了 ，I'm pretty fluent in Spanish。那当你 be fluent in something 的一个 language 的时候，就是说你本身是非常流利，几乎就像 native speaker 一样。可是如果其实对一个第二语言学习者来说，要流利一个语言讲得很流利是很难的，因为那等于说你要就是读所有的东西都是在大学以上的程度，像报纸啊，或是一些学士的文章，那其实并不是每个人都可以做到，那需要花很大的功夫。
So Scott says, I'm pretty fluent in Spanish. He's not saying I'm fluent, he's saying I'm pretty good at it. My level is pretty high. But he's not saying, oh, I'm fluent. He's saying a little bit less than fluent. And he said, the reason I'm good at it is because I had to use it every day growing up. So he really had to communicate in Spanish. And that's what I find is true. If you really have to say something in that language, you get better at it more quickly.
Yeah,
If you don't really have to use the language, you're never going to improve.
Absolutely. 所以 Scott 就继续说了 ，I'm pretty fluent in Spanish 是为什么呢？他为什么西班牙文会这么流利 ？Because I had to use it every day growing up. 因为我小时候啊，每天长大的过程，我都需要讲到 Spanish。那其实啊，当你需要每天讲一个语言的时候，你一定会越来越好，越来越进步，因为语言都是需要一直不断的练习的。OK， 刚刚这一句话呢，里面有一个 be fluent in， 就是流利使用某种语言的意思。那 fluent 形容词就流利的、熟练的。For example。Many
Europeans are fluent in 2 or 3 languages.
就许多欧洲人都精通2到3种语言。
So, what does this have to do with his study group? He says, as a result of his being pretty good at Spanish, everyone else in the study group, everyone else in the group, keeps turning to me for answers. If you turn to someone for something, it's kind of it's actually quite literal. For instance, if I had a question here, I would turn to you for the answer. I'd be like, oh, please help me. You know, you turn to someone for the answer. So everyone is relying on him to explain everything. It's pretty tiring for him.
Yeah, it is. OK， 他就是说 as a result 这里是一个很好的片语，它就是说结果啊。所以结果呢 ，everyone else in a group， 在这个读书会里的每个人 keeps turning to me for answers， 他们一直向我来求助，要回答他们的答案。那 turn to somebody for something 就是求助某人某事的意思。For example，If
you ever need any advice, you can turn to me for help.
就是如果你需要任何建议，都可以来找我帮忙。
So Alice's answer to this, I think I like her because she seems to get to the point right away.
Yeah.
He's talking about the problem and she just gets it. She goes, oh, the problem is you're not getting anything out of the study group. Everyone's just using you. What she says is, it doesn't seem like you're getting anything from being in that group at all. If you get something from something, it means that you're getting some result or you're getting some benefit or, you know, that it's good for you. And so she says, it doesn't seem like it's good for you. It doesn't seem like you're getting anything.
所以这 Alicia 也是一个蛮好的朋友，因为她直接就看到问题的所在，她就说 It doesn't seem like you're getting anything from being in that group at all. 她就说看起来似乎啊，你 didn't get anything. You're not getting anything from being that group. 就是你参加这个团体，其实一点用都没有。如果你说你 get something from doing something， 就是说你做这件事情，你自己有一些注意啊，有帮助到你在某种程度上。
And at the end of the sentence, he says, at all. She doesn't just say, you're not getting anything. She says, you're not getting anything at all. That at all really emphasizes that really nothing.
没错，他在结尾的时候说 at all， 就是强调说你一点都没有学到任何东西。
So then she says, perhaps you ought to drop it. If you drop something, it's not like you literally drop it on the floor. It means you stop going. You drop it from your schedule. You take it out of your schedule.
所以他就是说 perhaps maybe 就是可能你需要 you ought to drop it. Drop it 不是说真的把东西丢下去，它意思是说你要放弃，就不要再做这件事情。所以 drop something 呢，它不是指你把东西真的丢下去，它是指说你去停止、去放弃做某件事情。For example，the
firefighters dropped everything they were doing as soon as the alarm went off.
就警报声一响，消防员便放下手边所有的事情。那另外还有一个用法呢，就是 drop a subject at school or university， 就是在学校和大学里面退休。
For example, Claire decided to drop that class because she was taking too many credits.
就是克雷尔呢决定退掉那堂课，因为他已经修了太多学分了。
So Alicia suggested that Scott drop the study group. And then Scott says, well, I don't really want to. And the reason he says, well, there is a cute girl in the group named Melissa. So actually he has a reason to stay.
OK， 所以刚刚 Alicia 呢叫那个 Scott 他要退出那个读书会，可是 Scott 就说哇，这其实啊，他其实醉翁之意不在酒啦。他说 There's a cute girl in a group named Melissa， 就是在我们读书会里面呢，有一个很可爱的女生，她的名字叫 Melissa。
But then he's thinking about her advice to drop it, and he goes, maybe this is what I could do. Maybe I should ask her if she wants to study one-on-one. Now, one-on-one is an interesting word. It literally is like one person, and they're studying together. I always find it a bit weird because it sounds like one-on-one, like they're getting on top of each other. But it really means one-to-one. But it sounds better to say one-on-one than one-to-one, is why we say it.
所以 Scott 就是说 maybe 就是可能我可以 I should ask her if she wants to study one-on-one 可能我可以去问她说啊，她想不想要跟我就是一对一的读书 one-on-one 就是一对一的意思，就是其实我们想起来的 one-to-one 好像比较 make sense， 可是其实正确的用法是 one-on-one。
So I think Scott wants to have a chance to get to know Melissa a little bit better. So one-on-one is a little bit like, 3-on-3 in basketball. There's 3 people and they're facing 3 other people, right? It's 3-on-3.
所以在篮球里面呢，也是用 on 这个用法，就 3-on-3 就是指3对3斗牛。
So we're going to find out more about one-on-one in our Tips on Use box, and then that's it for us today. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tips in Use 重点解析。
大家好，我是 Camille。今天 Tips in Use 要教大家的就是一对一要怎么说。One-on-one 就是指一对一，以此类推。One-on-two 就是指一对二。例如 I want to find an English teacher that can teach me one-on-one. 我想找一个可以一对一教我的英文老师。You can get one-on-two instruction in this class. 在这个班上呢，你可以获得一对二的指导。而 one by one 则是指一个接一个。例如 The students walk into the classroom one by one. 学生们一个接一个走进教室。这样大家学起来了吗？这就是今天一对一的用法。那我们下次见喽，拜拜。
Words and phrases 单字片语。
Number 1. Chat. I like chatting with my friends on the phone.
Number 2. Cafeteria. The school serves large quantities of food in its cafeteria.
3. Have something to do with. Many of the taboos in Taiwan have something to do with the way certain words sound.
Number 4. Be fluent in. Fluent. Many Europeans are fluent in 2 or 3 languages.
Number 5. Turn to somebody for something. If you ever need any advice, you can turn to me for help.
Number 6. Not at all. The movie was not entertaining at all.
Number 7. Drop something. The firefighters dropped everything they were doing as soon as the alarm went off.
The dialogue 情境对话。
Do you like your Spanish study group?
Not really. To be honest, I feel kind of stressed out.
That doesn't sound good. What's going on?
I think it's because I spent my childhood in Spain and they didn't.
What do you mean? What does that have to do with your stress?
I'm pretty fluent in Spanish because I had to use it every day growing up. As a result, everyone else in the group keeps turning to me for answers.
It doesn't seem like you're getting anything from being in that group at all. Perhaps you ought to drop it.
Well, there is a cute girl in the group named Melissa. Maybe I should ask her if she wants to study one-on-one.
Just for fun 趣味英文。
This semester, my grades have improved. One of the reasons is that I joined a study group. Now, I can't put off my studies because my study group meets at regular times. Before, if I was studying by myself, it was too easy to say, I'll study later. I also find that I learn more quickly in my study group. Sometimes, ideas that are totally confusing to me make perfect sense to others in my study group. They explain things to me, and before long, it makes sense to me too. I've also picked up some new study skills from people in my group. I find that studying with others keeps studying from becoming boring. I don't think of it as going to study. Instead, I think of it as going to see some friends and learn new things as well. That's why I recommend joining a study group.